So we have to take a walk.
Which floor? All right.
National ID. Oh, it's okay. I'm not national ID. It's okay.
My TCI, my TCI. My team, I say, go up with my sim, Magatagura, Pamanike.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
No one goes pizza, I still do it.
And that's my tripod has video.
What's inside?
Chief, joke doesn't.
You, why would you my hamster?
Yeah, at least $6 it's $24. Because at the side, revenue is $24. Pagori, but $24 times 12.
Let me take a look.
Stand by, we're going to the boardroom for a press conference. Right, we're on our way to the boardroom. I don't know what to do. Ultimately, you can work under pressure. Yeah. Right. Your pressure is yeah. There are no lifts here, so we're going up using the staircases. And yanzi anesa akangosvika totanga. Pakaipa. Zviyo
Charge them, but it's 5 times a day. 3 years.
10 change.
Just also.
What's this? How are you? Vatauri vanogara uko. Hey. Zviri kufamba. Nhasi ndakuunganidzai muyo. Sorry guys. Say my lights. My lights are not here. Tinotemba nemika imi. Vurama window. Ema blinds. Tsvaka pane mai kuvhura nekuvhara nekukwidza. Iwe uri kuchika dzonza so zvamauya mese
Chasodika.
pana asara aisera solegazi
Aiwa, sorry, Tessa. Oh, hey, come, that's what you need to have for you.
aiwa vanosara vakadaro
Vanozovenga kero mubvisi.
Hi.
Saka munhu wese akasvika tinokwana here muno.
Vanhu chaivo
But I'm worried dine vanga vari mulift. Ndinoda kuti vatijoine ivavo chete.
kuna mavhari
How unfair for us.
We'll send them a signal.
Ivo vabva vadii manje vabva vatangirwa nini?
Mashavi ekuepo wetatiteera manje. Mashavi ekuepo wetaya kufunza zvinhu.
What is my right?
Lights draw one. Down.
hanzi tora passport size yemunhu ari baba BCU unosvika kunoku hatisisirikuita press conference uri kutini rega timbokutora uone kuti ichi chinyarara hazina mashora inongonzi taona kuti amuvhunza chama akuitwe kuti mapress conference aiwe chekutaurisa ngacho kondo zvaivepo Let's all go to the microphone. We'll go to I'm just going to come back when you can.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few housekeeping issues. Our convenience room, we don't have rooms, but we have one room. It's just behind this wall. That's where you can. For ladies, I'm not sure if there's a mirror there, but I'm sure you'll be able. The facilities are sufficient, at least for a military area. I will just circulate these two papers, just register, so that next time you don't get it through WhatsApp, but you get it directly from me. That by having a presser. So I'll ask every one of you to fill in your details, your contact details.
Do you have your beautiful pens?
I thought Jordan would move around with it.
I
was told not to use the camera as your notebook.
Or we can use guns to write our names.
I
I will request
Tipeka mapeni majina.
Anyone with a recording device that needs to be brought anywhere closer.
somebody something.
I'm told there are going to be certificates for the war veterans who survived the lift crash. So all of those misfortunes.
Asanguka vari kuzvinzwa zvamutswa. Phone ipi?
Haisiri pa flight mode kakanda nepa window.
Uite se
tokanda nepa window chaipo chaipo.
Maybe wanted to stop it because of
아무리 그럼 더러운 걸 너무 메시라쇼.
Data on. Aga. Mura ndite se komre. Ina H. Mase H. Right H. Good one.
So we'll just delay a bit to give room for those who are using the staircases some time to walk up and take a breather before we start our press conference.
Okay. Equipment I need to try and no record. Equipment I need to try, you know record. I can't need to breathe up. Chiunzane kuku. Ezvo zvakuita manje chiunzane kuku. Zvaita ndini. Mari yacho.
Shamari pressure iri kunoka. Kuna umwe musoja akamira kumashure kwangu arinetsa kuti.
I'm addressing you in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Be patient. Fellow Zimbabweans, situation is to another level.
We are restoring the 2013 elections. We have made a resolution to continue without elections. That's what Tumi was screenshot.
That's why I'm complaining.
Talk to them. Talk to them. It's another historical. Vanhu vagara vanobvunza iwe nemunhu kuita Silver light do that.
Kana pana apa
The recording devices, I think we can now bring them forward.
The phones, they should be put on the flight mode, not on silent.
And the other end up at some phones on flight mode, not on silent. Pada wangu wane mafriji anoda kugara ari pa mawesa nemapower bank acho. you are all set, then the man who is going to lead the proceedings is one who needs no introduction. Director, Zimbabwe Defense Forces Public Relations, Colonel Overson Mugwisi.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
I have invited you to Defense House for a press conference on the role of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces in the forthcoming harmonized elections, all in an effort to inform your future reporting. Let me begin by giving you a short brief on our role in the elections before I raise a few issues on responsible media coverage before I take your questions. To begin with, members of the public should be made aware that the Zimbabwe Defense Forces has no direct role in the upcoming harmonized elections. Our role in the elections is mainly to support the Zimbabwe Republic Police in their role of maintenance of law and order in the country before, during, and after the harmonized elections. We also remain ready to assist the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission with the transport where necessary. Beyond that, the ZDF remains ready to defend our country's territorial integrity and interests. Having said that, I want to raise concern over some individuals who mischievously and deliberately portray the execution of our mandate as participating in political campaigns. Falsehoods that have been reported include allegations of the ZDF deployments in rural areas to intimidate villagers so that they support a certain political party to enhance that party's chances of winning in the 2018 harmonized elections. We urge people who are not sure or doubt the genuine role being played by the ZDF in this election to feel free to check with us and clear their suspicions. If some serving members are participating in the ongoing political campaigns, they will be doing so illegally and not as a result of an instruction from their commanders. Those with information on such misconduct should provide us with full details of such individuals to enable appropriate disciplinary action to be taken against them. They can also report the suspicious characters to the nearest police station. You may want to know that the deployments we have include troops on various command projects, border control operations in support of the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and in some national parks in support of the parks rangers. We also have deployments on humanitarian demining activities along our country's border with Mozambique, and have artisans working on construction of community assistance projects, including public utilities such as schools, hospitals, and clinics as part of our ongoing corporate social responsibility program. ZDF members at political rallies attended by VIPs or VVIPs should not be misconstrued to be participating in political activities, as these are some of our official duties. We also have other pressing prior commitments for our members, which are keeping them away from their barracks or homes where they are registered to vote next month. Arrangements have been made for the members to vote through the postal ballot to avoid violating their voting rights on account of exigencies of military commitments. Members who will be afforded the postal ballot include troops on training commitments at the All Arms Battle School in Nyanga, regular officer cadets training at the Zimbabwe Military Academy in Gweru, members proceeding to the Russian military games, and some who are deployed on border control operations. In this regard, we are disturbed by false reports already circulating on the social media alleging that the ZDF is going to be used by ZANU-PF to rig the elections through the postal ballot. These malicious social media reports should be dismissed with the contempt they deserve. As we remain committed to fulfilling our constitutional mandate, we implore members of the media to report objectively and responsibly. The media is also expected to desist from peddling falsehoods which are destructive as they tend to cause disunity in the country. Our wish is to work with a responsible media that promotes national unity, stability, and respect for all rights as enshrined in our Constitution, social and economic development in the country. Furthermore, it should be noted that members of the ZDF, like any other citizens, are not barred from exercising their right to vote for any political party of their choice in national elections. The only restriction on their participation in politics is holding of political party offices while they are still serving. As for retired members, they are not excluded from active participation in national politics. According to Chapter 4, Part 2, Section 67 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, like other citizens, have democratic rights to participate in national elections. Chapter 6, Part 4, Section 125 of the Constitution does not exempt any category of citizens, including retired ZDF members, from participating in political activities and holding such offices. The ZDF gets concerned when media reports carry inaccurate reports or falsehoods, when my office is readily available to provide correct information anytime it is required by members of the media. There is therefore no need for any excuses to the effect that by the time of going to the print, the defense spokesman could not be reached for comment. I'm always there for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Open for business.
I also want to give a few examples of some bad, if not mischievous, reporting by some of you. On 10 June 2018, the Standard newspaper reported that 5,000 soldiers were deployed, especially in rural areas, to campaign for ZANU-PF. The alleged deployments never happened. On 14 June 2018, an online media report by Siposam Malunga, I don't know if he's here, alleged that Zimbabwe's military has a record of interfering in elections in favor of the ruling party, and that 2,000 soldiers had been deployed in rural areas. That this so-called deployment never happened. Another online media report by Snodia Maupeni insinuated that military men participated in ZANU-PF primary elections on 3 April 2018. This is very untrue. In the Newsday published on 28 March 2018, Richard Ichidza cited the European Union and opposition leaders accusing the army of lacking neutrality in elections, and that the military had deployed personnel in rural areas respectively. This is another false allegation. Then finally, on 30 April 2018, Blessing Mashai wrote an article in the Daily News entitled, "It's People's Vote, Not Army, Muchangwa," debating the role of the military in the upcoming elections. These allegations are also untrue. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, let us commit ourselves to reporting responsibly. Check with us on reports that involve the ZDF If you are not sure of the accuracy of the information available to you, let us also promote peace before, during, and after the upcoming harmonized elections. Above all, let us work hard to rebuild and develop our great country, Zimbabwe. I thank you. I'm ready for your questions. Madame, where are you? Okay. Right, who starts? Let me get my pen. Let's help each other take questions. Yeah. We'll take one question at a time. We'll take one question at a time. But let those questions be around my brief. All right.
I'll circulate copies of the statements. There's no need for you to be chaotic. If you don't get a copy, just let me know. We'll always avail a copy for you.
Oh, okay, it's okay. We are going to go into questions. Don't worry. We have the whole morning to ourselves.
Please, let's take one and pass the rest. I know for some media houses you duplicate cameraman and reporter, so we can just coordinate between the two of you. If one is taken, then there's no need for you to make a pass.
So I know you. All right. Okay. I think you was the first.
Yes, I just wanted to, since you're making clear the role of the military in the elections. Opposition political parties have said that the army is still bound by the straight-jacket statements that were made by General Narashi, that the office of the president is supposed to be only held by someone who has liberation war credentials. This came from an army general. And he said, unless that command is undone, the military is bound by such a statement. What is the position of the military?
Well, those are their views. Those are their views. The position of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces is that we abide by the constitution of the country. And all we are going to do is going to, in fact, our conduct is going to be guided by the constitution of this country. Right at the back, from the lady. Will you come again? You're a bit further away. Okay, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I cannot give those offhand, but those can always be perhaps be provided as and when those figures can be provided. But I don't have them on my fingertips. But those categories that I indicated in my brief, are the individuals who are going to be subjected to postal ballot voting. But the exact figures, I don't have them offhand.
You say that some newspapers or media houses appeared with lies against the military. You gave reference, giving examples. Why do you think all these media houses, different, would be lying against the military if nothing is happening on the ground?
Well, we are not saying that all media houses are lying, but with reference to with reference to those particular reports that I indicated, that no reference was made or no consultation was made with us. Indeed, it is true that we were not, our side of the story, we were not consulted to give our side of the story. We are not saying they are lying. Maybe they made partial investigations, from which they then got the information that they used. But we are appealing to you that in future, if there is any story that you are writing that has got anything to do with the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, you should also get our side of the story so that you write a balanced story. This is all we are saying. This is all we are saying. Get our side of the story. If you deployed 2,000 men, yes or no, then then you can go ahead and write your story. So we are saying most of these stories which are alleging that we have got so many men deployed on the political campaigning activities, most of those stories, they were not checked with us. And as a result, they were written, the stories were written without clearing or getting our own side of the story. And they are not true, unfortunately. All right, the lady has already asked. Oh, okay. The lady can ask the question.
So, do you have an update on the Bulawayo explosion?
Sorry?
Updates on the Bulawayo explosion?
Yes.
Do you have any updates on the Bulawayo explosion?
Yes. What I'm aware of is that investigations are still continuing, led by the Zimbabwe Republic Police. And the Zimbabwe Republic Police and the presidential spokesperson have been providing updates timelessly. I want to believe that as and when they get additional information, they will come back to the public and advise how far they will have gone. But investigations are going on, are ongoing. Say?
Wanted to know from the Army, are the ZDF members free to vote for any political party? Because there have been reports that there have been orders that they should vote for a certain political party.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to believe that was clearly covered. That was clearly covered in my brief, where I said members of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, like any other citizen, they have got a right to vote for any political party of their choice. Madam.
President Mugabe said that the military saved the day in 2008 when we had the elections. And the G40 faction of ZANU-PF have also said that the military were deployed in rural areas since 2013 and they're still there. The NDCT have also said the same thing, that the military has been deployed and they're plainclothes army or soldiers in the rural areas. Is this not a sign that the military is actually intervening and interfering in elections? And also, what proof is there that the military will actually allow a smooth handover in the event that ZANU-PF does not win?
Thank you very much, Madam. You've asked more than one question in that. All right, I will try to answer I will try to answer all your questions in one effort. All right, the first one, your first question revolves around deployments of the military on political campaign duties. And I think I have made that position very clear that we have not deployed. We have not deployed any men for political campaigning, for any political party. I think that was clear from my brief. Then the second issue was, right, okay, but there are actually three questions. Okay, smooth handover. Smooth handover to You did not complete that question. To whom? Ah, okay. Okay, it's now a complete question. Did you get a question? All right. Yeah. Right. I think I also indicated in my brief that the conduct of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces will remain guided by the constitution of the land. So we will not prevaricate or change from that. We will remain guided by the constitution of the country. I think that should suffice. Yeah. Then the last one you were saying?
Well, the one was President Mugabe and the G40s have said.
Oh, yeah, they are reiterating that they are playing clothes. Yeah, okay. I think our position again is very clear on deployment of the ZDF on political campaign duties. Our position is very clear. We have made ourselves very clear that we have got no deployments on political campaign activities. We don't have. Happy, madam?
Well, time will tell.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. Okay. Everson. Sazita.
Yeah, I wanted to know the November events, part of the minutes of the reason why the military intervened was to avoid a ZANU-PF defeat, electoral defeat. And now, is there any guarantee that the military will be able to respect any outcome in the election that doesn't favor the people of ZANU-PF?
All right. Is the military going to respect any outcome that is different? That question, I think it's very similar to what I've responded to. It was the same question from the lady, and I think I gave a clear position that the conduct of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces after the elections is going to be guided by the constitution of the land. I think that is clear enough. Maybe because we can't go over the constitution here and now, but we are going to be guided by the constitution. What the constitution prescribes that we do is what we are going to follow.
So maybe yeah, you said you are going to be guided by the constitution.
Yes.
If the minutes of the November events are anything to go by, was it constitutional for the military intervene on the basis of avoiding a defeat for a political party when the constitution requires the military to protect all citizens regardless of any political party?
All right. I think we are deviating from what we undertook to do at first. I thought we had agreed that today we are going to be talking about the role of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces in the upcoming harmonized election. And I think that is a slight departure from what we are discussing here. Right at the end.
Yes, I just have two questions. If you can.
No, let's have one at a time.
Okay, I'll make them double. Firstly, the question relates to the president's security. Is the military happy with the presidential guard being rendered to the president? And I want to ask you, I know you've responded to this question. I think it just going by what Everson is saying, that you did request respect the constitution in November, and we can't really expect you to respect the constitution on July 30 if the president loses. Is the command element willing and able to salute Chamisa if he wins?
I think I've made myself very clear. It was the same question that was asked by the lady here. It was the same question that was asked by my brother, Everson. Right, and Yeah, I don't think it's necessary for me to repeat the response. Oh, okay. Just a moment. Oh, yeah, you are too close. This is why we are. All right.
Tafumane from Sly Media. Okay.
Just a moment. Sorry. You want your second question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. No, it's not one. Let's have his first before we have your second question.
No, I already asked you. The security provided to the president and the military.
Okay.
Do you think that's adequate, and are you happy about it?
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, on that question. Normally, when such incidents take place, that calls for obviously a review of the security arrangements with a view to improving them. So that exactly is going to be done.
Okay, I'll continue. Tafumane Sly Media. You've mentioned that the Zimbabwe Defense Forces are in a position to help ZEC with transport. Doesn't that aid to the suspicions that the public are helping, that you are participating or somehow you are aligned to ZEC by providing them transport in a crucial time like this, where there are already some suspicions of army assisting the ruling party in the elections?
The Zimbabwe Defense Forces has its secondary role: military assistance to civil ministries, military assistance to civil power, military assistance to civil communities. As our, that's part of our roles. We have primary roles and secondary roles. So whenever a department is in need of assistance from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, where it feels its resources or otherwise are inadequate, we are allowed through our mandate to assist those other departments. And ZEC, like all other departments, if they appeal for assistance, we are readily available to assist.
In situations like this, in order to protect the image of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, are you not in a position to say, so that we remain clear that we are not participating in favoring any political party? Can't you be assisted by any other organs in the country within the election period, so that army is not seen to be carrying ballot boxes from and to the polling stations?
Well, I thought military, our secondary roles are meant to assist the normal functions of the government. And if those are viewed otherwise, then whoever is viewing them otherwise, I think it's up to them. It's up to them. All right, I will only take the next 3 questions so that we don't have to continue repeating ourselves and wasting your time. And right, madam.
Thank you very much. My name is Sophia Mapanga. I'm a freelance journalist. I wanted you to clarify, you've mentioned that you'll be assisting in the transport and during the elections. Does this mean that for the postal votes for the soldiers, you're also going to be transporting the ballot yourselves, or you're going to leave the mandate to ZEC?
No, in fact, conduct of the election is ZEC's prerogative, it's not our direct role. Like I indicated earlier, it's not our direct role. We only come in and assist where we have been requested to assist. So whether we are going to assist ZEC in transporting one particular with with transport in one particular area or another, I'm not very sure where they are going to ask for assistance. But we are ready to assist them if they will ask for such assistance. All right, that's one. Right, I hope you are not trying to hit back. All right, Richard. All right. And you should not make an effort to clear yourself. All right.
It has taken the army or yourself, the defense forces, the better part of 7 months to issue a statement refuting claims that we have deployed in the rural area. Why has it taken this long? And do you think Zimbabweans trust the military?
Let me attend to that one. I think we agreed that we are going to attend to one question at a time. Right. The first one, you said it has taken us long.
I didn't say long. I said the better part of 7 months.
To
respond to accusations that the military is deployed in the rural area to campaign for Zambia. And do you think the military is trusted by citizens?
In the spirit of my brief, or my address, my earlier brief, I indicated that we want a relationship where if there is any report to be made against the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, we expect members of the media first to check with us. Had members of the media checked with us, they could have received the responses as and when they wanted to write their reports. They would have, yeah. So the question of saying it has taken us long to, we don't have to wait. We don't have to accuse each other before we report. We should clear with each other before we report. So we should have communicated, you and me. We should have reported. We should have communicated before you wrote your report. So that way, we could have, at least cleared most of these issues in good time. So this is why we are making an appeal to you now that whenever you have issues to do with the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, please check with us, clear with us, so that you get immediate responses.
So you don't think your credibility is in question if you take 7 months to respond to issues like you deployed?
Well, those are individual views. But if we are engaged and in fact, we have got a rule. We are supposed to respond to media queries in 4 days. In 4 days. Yeah, we are supposed to respond to media queries in 4 days. If we fail, then you can blame us. And in this case, we did not fail because we were not consulted.
Okay, thank you very much. In the context of our recent history and the current period we are in, should members of the media feel threatened by the concerns you have raised? The last time the media raised, the army raised concerns, there was quite a lot of activities.
Well, does any member of the media here feel threatened? Are we feeling threatened here?
No,
not really. I thought we are here because we don't feel threatened. I don't know, maybe I might be wrong. In fact, we are making an appeal. In fact, we are talking to you so that we are able to work together better in future. Don't feel threatened, feel at home. Whenever you feel you have got anything to do with us, please feel free to get in touch with Ken Omugisa.
So Ken, I just wanted a clarity on your response so that I do not misquote you. You said that you are supposed to offer assistance to civil power and maybe to ZEC when there's assistance needed. That's your secondary function. But during the ZANU-PF primary elections, you offered assistance to a political party. Is that part of your civil obligations? Because we saw army helicopters flying party ballot papers in Gogwe, in Berengwa. We actually have pictures of army equipment being used for ZANU-PF primary activities?
Well, I think our position, the position of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces is very clear, that we are not participating in any active political campaigning or political activities that you are accusing us of. We are not. I think that was made very clear. We are not.
Military
I'm not aware. I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
Earlier on, you didn't answer the question about the trust issue. How can the public trust the military? You took over power in a military coup, and how can you make people believe that you will let that go just 6 months after taking over? How can you convince Zimbabweans to trust the military at this point in time when most of the ministries in government have been, the military have been put in all those ministries, even as permanent secretaries or whether they're ministers. So how can Zimbabweans trust that the military will let go after elections and the trust issue?
Thank you very much, Madam. I thought my brief was very clear, and this brief was going to help clear things, not just for us here, but for the rest of our for the rest of the population. We have stated clearly the role that is going to be played by the Zimbabwe Defense. Unless if we are saying what we have stated on the role of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces is not, maybe it's not adequate, then maybe we might, where we are not clear, we might be expected to perhaps further clarify. But concerned with what I have said, if it's disseminated appropriately, I think it will clear the air. People should then be aware of what role the Zimbabwe Defense Forces is playing before, during, and after the elections. And I think I've tried to make that position very, very clear. So I thought trust also is built through continuous communication. This is not going to be the end of our communication with the rest of our publics or through our media. If as and when need arises, we'll invite you here, talk to you, you ask clear questions, so that we clear whatever issues will be at stake.
Ken Omugwese, I hope you are not going to dodge my question. I'm happy you said that the army adheres to the dictates of the constitution, and former President Mugabe says that the military intervention was unconstitutional and therefore illegal. Who authorized the intervention in November?
All right. Unfortunately, in some cases, we continue to drift away from what we set ourselves to discuss here. I think this is outside what we are discussing here. I thought I made myself very clear from the onset that we are putting across the role of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces before, during, and after the forthcoming harmonized elections. So can we, for now, leave some of those other issues? If they are meant to be media queries, excuse me, if they are meant to be media queries, we can handle those outside this forum.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. I think we had said 3 questions.
We have gone beyond.
Someone is whispering. Would you want a diary? HE. Okay. So I think in the interest of time, sorry. In the interest of time, there will always be just one more question from someone and one more follow-up question from the other person. Ladies and gentlemen, are there people who don't have copies of it?
Right. All right, but we seem to have run out of questions because we are talking about something else different. We have run out of questions.
Okay, can we see the gentleman who's putting on the Air Force uniform at the back? He's just like me, but with a different type of hair. Those who didn't get copies, so that we can make some of them.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Robert, so only business card. We go business card. Huh? Depot 2. Depot 2. Repay all. Unless you depot.
Those who want to contact us, can get business cards.
One thing at a time.